How to make money investing during a recession. Noelle literally started her real investing career during a recession. Well, basically, I was on the other end of it, so I had to figure out how to fix my life. I learned so much, and I'm going to share it all with you. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
So recessions are always something that people fear. They're always on the news. People are talking very negative. But let me first tell you what a recession is so that you know how to make money during a recession. A recession is defined as a contraction in the economy over 2 consecutive quarters. So plainly stated, recessions are marked by high job loss, high unemployment rates, higher foreclosures, and an overall decrease in people's personal wealth. Many people experience job loss during a recession because companies lay off employees, and many employees rely on that income to pay all of their bills. So once people start losing their jobs, especially on a high level, the economy will start to go down because those people no longer have an income to sustain their bills. Once people stop paying their bills, other companies start to lose money as well, which leads to them laying off more companies, and then it just spirals and spirals. So as you can see, recessions are very bad for the economy, but there are some opportunities that can be found as people are losing their jobs and losing their income, but there are lots of people that make money in the process. Let me tell you how. So like I said, recessions aren't a great thing for most people. However, there are some real benefits if you can find some opportunities in that recession. Recessions also usually lead to a big transfer of wealth. Like I said, because homeowners start losing their properties, usually there's investors that start gobbling up those properties and they increase their personal wealth. Additionally, people start to lose their income, they lose their jobs, so many of those companies have to get more efficient, and it will create less competition in some companies. There's also great opportunities that exist in a recession if you know how to take advantage of it. One of the major ways that I started investing in a recession was that people were going through foreclosures. I had actually went through foreclosure and I lost everything. I ended up with multiple foreclosures, a bankruptcy, and living in my parents' basement with my husband and kids. It was awful. But if I would have known then what I know now, I surely would not have been in that situation. Literally, a house that I had paid $365,000 for, I now know that an investor picked that property up for $260,000. Then a few years later, when the market rebounded, that same investor sold my old house, or one of them, for over $500,000. So imagine if I would have been able to avoid the foreclosure, because that's another thing that happened that really took me down. Because I let my properties go into foreclosure, I ruined my credit. I had to file bankruptcy just to even start over again. If an investor would have been able to come along and get that property from me, they would have been able to negotiate with the lender and even take over those mortgage payments. I would have avoided the foreclosure and they would have benefited in the process. It would have also made me climbing back out of my situation a whole lot faster. Once I learned this though, I started helping people not go through foreclosure and benefiting in the process. So now I gobble up properties when people are losing them, and helping myself in the process. So let's talk about how you can make money during a recession, because you really can. You have to start looking at the market and seeing when recessions are coming. I can clearly tell you, many people on the news are saying we are looking at a foreclosure, and many would even say we're in one right now. I would actually agree. We are seeing a situation where more and more people are not making their mortgage payments. This is going to eventually lead to more and more foreclosures. I and my students have been contacting these people, and we have been able to start getting properties for pennies on the dollars. Literally, we've been able to start taking over their mortgage payments, get those people out of those properties, and put in tenants that can pay the mortgage. That way, we make a profit, the home seller's credit is not ruined with a foreclosure, and we are able to get properties that have equity in them. This is an amazing win-win situation. Because we know that the economy is cyclical, even though there's a recession, we know that it will eventually end and values will go back up. It's a great time during a recession to start garnering properties so that when the market improves, you can sell those properties at a profit. Meanwhile, you're making money throughout the process. Many people are afraid of doing this because they think that, oh man, if I get a foreclosure and I take it over, nobody's going to have a job and no one's going to be able to pay me. Well, that's simply not true. Just because the homeowner lost their job and they are unable to pay does not mean that everyone is unable to pay. It is not hard to find a paying tenant or putting in 2 or 3 families into a property and them splitting the new rent payment. There's definitely ways to start making cash flow until the market improves and then you sell that property at a higher value than what you got for it. I've literally walked away with hundreds of thousands of dollars doing this on just one property. And you can do the same thing. Another way that I've been able to make a ton of money investing in real estate during a recession is from tired landlords. Most landlords only own a property or 2. So the great thing about it is when they have to do an eviction or their tenant is unable to pay, they simply want to walk away from the properties as well. Or they start pulling their hair out thinking, I need to get out of this business. This is a great opportunity for a new investor to start managing properties and to start acquiring properties. Tired landlords are an awesome opportunity. Again, I've literally been able to get properties for just a few $1,000s from a mom and pop type of landlord who only had a property or 2. These people are super willing to give over those properties because their tenant is not paying anyway. If you come along and you're able to pay that mortgage for them, you can even lease purchase that property and start building your portfolio without having to come up with any money. So there you have it. Again, there's tons of ways to make money during a recession. You just have to start finding the opportunity and see who is losing their stuff and go gobble it up. If you want to learn more about how to do all of this, I've created a full training that teaches you my exact formula to investing with little to no money down and making big profits. Go to noelsfreetraining.com. Again, that's noelsfreetraining.com. I want to make sure you have all of the tools, all of the resources, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.